Hey everybody, it is the Mid-Year BookTube tag, and I'm going to be doing that, answering questions because I think these are lots of fun. I've really been enjoying watching other people's freak out tags and seeing how they answer the questions. So you're going to get my answers. Before I get to those though, please do what you know you need to do, which is like this. Yep, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you are not a subscriber to this channel, would you please subscribe? We are a growing channel and we're building our bookish community here. So I would love to be able to have videos come right to you so you don't miss them out. So please hit that subscribe button and thank you. All right, so we're just gonna go through these. I thought these questions were really fun this year, and it had me having to think a little bit about it. Some were easy and some were definitely not easy. So with that being said, I'm just gonna jump right into it. Question number 1, what is the best book that I've read thus far in 2025? Without no hesitation. The book is Chain Gang All-Stars by Kwame Adjei-Brenyah. This book blew me away. It was my very first sci-fi book that I read, or futurism book that I read, and I absolutely love it. I love it so much, you guys. I don't have it anymore because I gave this copy away. I've told everybody to read this. And I'm actually ordering another copy today for my husband because he's going to read it, because I'm like, you will love this book. Chain Gang All-Stars. Whew, gosh, when did I read that? I think I read it in maybe January or February, I think. It was published in 2023. And basically what this book is about, it's gladiator style, but it's gladiators that are existing within a private prison system. So within this private prison system, you have basically gladiator teams or chains that are fighting for their freedom. And there's a series of rounds of fights that they have to do in order to earn their freedom. And the two main characters, they're friends and they're lovers. There's these two female gladiators. And they are the ones that we focus around the most and the ones that lead the chain. And we get to see and learn through them just the ways in which the constraints of having to live like this, being used in this way as just not even human, but just used as a tool, used as entertainment. You really see the exploration of capitalism on prison systems, and especially because these are private. So there's so much that this book gets into. I did do a video on it. I will link it in the show notes below where I go into more detail. I don't want to spend all my time here on this one particular read, but it is really good. One of the things that I liked the most about the book is how it was written. You have varying different chapters, so you get different type of viewpoints, but you also have different writing styles, from poems to prose to different things. And then you also have these footnotes that come in and interject themselves. So you get to learn a mixture of real facts about prison systems and what's happening to incarcerated people in America. And then you also have more fictional footnotes as giving background as to why, this person is in prison, or what this person's story is. So it's just this beautiful kind of combination that's really good. And it has this energy throughout it, this bass, pulse energy that also is sustained. Really huge fan. So it's a dystopian world. Thurwar and Hurricane Stack. Those are the characters' names of this novel. There it is. I found it in my book notes. That's why it's good to write stuff down, you guys. That's why I write stuff down. So that is by far the best book of 2025. And it is also the best book because I did not think I was going to like it. I'm like, this is not my jam. It totally blew me away. And so this is one that I confidently recommend to people. Get it, read it, give it a try. Okay, second question is, what's my favorite sequel that I've read or started? my favorite because it's the only. No, that's not true. So that's not true. That's not true. So I have started 2 books that are parts of sequel. One is Harry Potter. I read this in February. I know I read this in February because my daughter, my oldest, is a huge Harry Potter fan. And she wanted me to read it. We were going to New York. We went to the Harry Potter store. And she has always wanted me to read it. We celebrate Harry Potter's birthday every year. So I was like, okay, I will give it a read. And I really did enjoy it. So I really did enjoy the story. I'm familiar with the movies because, you guessed it, I have to watch the Harry Potter movies. So I'm familiar with it. Although I will be honest with you that I'm not like paying exact attention to the movies when it's on. I'm kind of like, I'm there in body and I'm there in support, but my mind could be somewhere else, or I could be reading a book. So there was lots still for me to learn, like lots that I didn't know. And so I'm happy that I read because it like helped me to connect some dots that were just missing in my mind, because all of the kind of the Harry Potter stuff is just one big thing in my mind. So this read really helped me to distinguish it. I loved the writing. I thought it was good. I see why it's so popular and such a beloved series. And I can see myself picking this up. I really enjoyed reading this at night. It was a good anxiety, like it just brought my anxiety down. It helped me calm down. I could escape into this whimsical, magical world, and it was good. Question number 3 and number 4, I'm going to answer as one question. Third question wants to know, is there a new release I'm excited for? And the fourth question is, what is your anticipated release for the second half of the year? Like what book being released in the second part of the year are you anticipating? So for me, I'm just combining that one. And the book for me is Lovely One by Ketanji Brown Jackson, who is our Supreme Court Justice, one of the justices, and it's her memoir. I love to read like biographies and memoirs. I'm really trying to challenge myself to read 3 a year, and thus far I've read 0. So I'm going to start with this one. I don't know that much about her, and so I'm really excited to learn about her, especially because she is doing the work now and in the present. So yeah, I'm excited about that. It comes out in September. I know that for sure. I was trying to look up to see when exactly it comes out, but it does come out in September, and I'm really looking forward to giving that a read and to just learning more about her story and gleaning, like getting the gems and the diamonds that she has to share to me. So that is the book that I'm anticipating in September. So next question, question number 5 is, what was my biggest disappointment? And I do have one. See that face? Death of the Author. Beautiful cover. Beautiful cover. Let me just open it up too. This is the inside cover. If you read it, you'll know. It's a story within a story frame book. I was really excited to read this. I mean, look at the cover. And it just did not work for me. I also have a video, I will link that in the show notes below, about this book, where I go deeper into my thoughts. But basically, it's beautiful, but it didn't work for me on a lot of levels. But let me flip through my book notes and give you some highlights about why it didn't work for me. The biggest thing is where I struggled because I wanted to really like this story. I liked the premise of it. I liked the story within a story framework. And I actually liked the story better than the larger story. So you have a main character here, and she is a writer. What is her name? Zelu. She is a writer, and she's that has been published, but she's a struggling writer. And when we start this story, her world is kind of falling apart. She is also disabled. She's wheelchair bound because of an accident that she had when she was around 12 years old. And but she's a grown adult. She comes from a Nigerian family, and she is at a place where life is just not lifing. Life is lifing in the sense that it's just things are not going her way. And in a high drunken state, she writes this story. She writes a sci-fi story, and that is not her genre that she writes, but she just writes it. And she starts writing this story. And eventually the story gets published, and it changes the trajectory of her life in every way possible. And she finds herself going from unknown, unpopular, having to live at home, life's a mess, what are you doing, to like being in interview shows, making millions of dollars, getting deals, and all of that. But also there's another big change that happens because of this book and the publication of this book that happens to her. And so this book kind of goes on this journey of what is quietly dying inside Zelu. And so again, I like the idea of it. I just did not like the execution of it at all. And I also struggled with the magical white men and men in general that was the ones that were constantly coming in and saving her. I kind of didn't like that motif that was happening. I struggled with that. So this was a disappointment, for me. The ending did not work at all. I thought that it just did not work for me. Please let me know if you have read this book. I would love to continue to have conversations about it, because when I meet a book that just doesn't work for me, it makes me even more curious, right? And I want to know, but I want to talk to people that it did work. Maybe there's something that I didn't see or I didn't figure out, or, that, I don't know. I just always love to talk to people that read books that especially I struggle with. So if that is you, you know what to do. Put your thoughts in the comments below. I read and answer every comment, so thank you for doing so. So this was my big disappointment of the year. This is my sad face. It didn't work for me. Next question, number 6, is the book that made me cry. And this is a very easy answer, and that's 0. It takes a lot for me to cry about a book. So I haven't cried yet. Maybe coming up, I'll find one that I will cry about, but not yet. So that is no book for me. Number 7, a book that made me happy. And this one also was a very easy one for me to talk about. And that is Before I Let Go by Nnedi Ryan. There we go. Before I Let Go by Nnedi Ryan. I have a whole stack of books in my lap, y'all. I'm about to fall. This is a romance book, and it is a story that starts at the beginning of the story. We have this couple, Yasmin and Hosea, and they are divorced. They are kind of emerging out of the worst period times of their life. That's how the author describes it, and I think that's so accurate. And we get to go on this journey of them figuring it out, figuring their own self out, their own grief, and then figuring themselves out as a couple. So they're divorced, but they live in the same neighborhood because they have children, and they were committed to being excellent parents and co-parents in that situation. And they also have a business together. They are restaurant owners. So there's lots that are keeping them tethered to one another. And it's just a beautiful, I think, story. I will give a warning to the story, as the author does in her author's notes, that it does deal with some serious topics, such as stillborn and loss of life and depression and passive, she says, suicidal thoughts, although there is no activeness with that. So just wanted to give a warning with this book that the author has, to share that with you. But I read this in a day. I was completely distracted. I did a video about this too, so I will link that in my show notes as well. And it was just a good read. It was fun. It made me happy because it just made me, it made me happy. Not that it is a happy-go-lucky book, but it just made me happy to read it. I enjoy the journey of this couple's story. and getting to know them and living with them through all of the ups and downs and things that they have. It's also fast paced. And even though it deals with some, tough topics, it's not a heavy book. It's not a heavy book like that. So this one, definitely would recommend this one, Nnedi Ryan, Before I Let Go. Last question is, what book or books do you want to read by the end of the year? So I have a whole shelf of books that I want to read, and I was like, this would be too long. So I've decided to share the book that I definitely do want to read by the end of the year. But I struggle. I know I'm going to struggle to read this by the end of the year because it is so outside my interest. And so I'm always picking up other books, even though I've had this book since the beginning of the year. And I've read maybe a chapter. And that is Silent Spring by Rachel Carson. So this is said to be the book that kind of launched the environmental movement. It was given to me by a friend, and when she gave me her plants, because she was moving and she wanted them, to be taken care of. I became like an adopted parent of a lot of plants. They are thriving in my yard right now. She also gave me this book because she is really into the environment and the land and preserving the land and being good stewards over it. So I started reading this, and I can say that it is beautifully written, and I love these little pictures in it. You can see that. So I'm drawn in by that, but I just know that it's going to take me a long time. I think I need to assign pages of this book so that I don't get distracted and I keep moving over it. You guys, I've only read 13 pages. That's it. 13 pages since the beginning of the year. So if I can finish this book by the end of the year, I'll really feel happy about that. So that's why I decided to singularly put this book as the one that I want to end by the end of the year. Let's check in with me, hold me accountable, ask me in the comments, can you remind me to read this book, Silent Spring? Just put it in the comments. Be like, Chantel, did you read another chapter? Pick up some pages. I might put this in a place where it just stays in there. So I might put this in the bathroom. This might be, when I go to the bathroom, this might be my bathroom book. And maybe I will work on it that way. And it's not because I don't like what I read. It's just that, yeah, I think you get it. I think you get it, guys. That's it. That is my mid-year freak out. It was fun to just think about these questions and go through my books, and it was also very helpful because I know that I would not have picked this one up if I did not have the questions to think about. So it is helpful. Do the mid-year freak out, and for yourself, go through and think about all these things as I did, and let me know your answers in the comments below. Let me know what your favorite book is for 2025 that you read thus far. If you're reading a sequel, or if you've read sequels, what's your favorite sequel? That's number 2. Are there any new releases that you are excited about, that you're anticipating, that's coming out in the back half of this year? That's 3 and 4. You can answer it separately. Number 5, what was your biggest disappointment of the year? Did you have one? Number 6, what book made you cry? Makes you a little sad, makes you a little weepy. Number 7, what book made you happy? And number 8, what book or books do you want to make sure that you have finished by the end of the year? Those are the freak outs. Tag questions. Again, put your answers in the comments below. I will read them and respond. And if you have not done so already, which I don't know how that's possible, but if you forgot, please hit that like and subscribe button and help this community grow. Until next time, spend lots of time and wherever you like to encounter your books, be it a bookstore or a library or one of those tables out at markets that just have books all over them. And treat yourself to a good book. And as always, stay reading. Bye.